Man, I've been hearing what they've been saying about me in the offseason. I'm not going to be the same. I'm going to lose a step. I'm out of game shape. All that. But if I got something to say about it, Cocoa Beach is done losing. Look, I know we won one game last year. Radio saying we're not going to be the same team. We're going to be worse. Who cares? I don't care what the doubters say. Look, I'm coming for blood this year. It's my sophomore year. We're coming for that revenge tour, especially if I got anything to say about it. Cocoa Beach won't be the laughing stock anymore. Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from Ncaa, and welcome to the offseason, coming off of a one-win season in season number 1. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of improving to do. So we hop into the offseason right away. Now, in this game, there's a lot of stuff to do in the offseason. You have budgets, players leaving, recruiting, position changes, spring game, training results, cut players, setting your depth chart. And then on top of that, you have the summer drills in preseason along with setting your schedule. So much to get into. Even recruiting is much longer than NCAA 14. So first, let's start at school budgets. Now, this is important because this dictates how many recruiting points you get in this offseason and how many points get divvied up to training. And we decided to actually put a lot on discipline because I need to make sure that I get that NCAA interest down and make sure that I have my low discipline players that if they do actually get in trouble, I can discipline them without running out, because last year we got very close to running out of points. Now, we do have a few graduating seniors who are big impact players like Max Bellotti and Phoenix Frazier Jr. Those two guys will be missed along with Ryan Walker. And then Trevor Goldenberg, a guy that we used a lot on the defensive line, and I'm going to need to find somebody that will replace him because I couldn't find many defensive linemen that were very good. I think it was only 3 this year that we had. It was Tesla McAnola, Jamal Charles was really good, and then Goldenberg. Now, in this series, I will not accept transfers. I want this team to be originally built from prospects, from recruits, and from you guys. So no transfers in this series. So now we hop into the offseason recruiting. This is the biggest part here in the offseason just because it's the most important. Now, we have the spring game coming up and all that. Our new recruits won't play in the spring game, but recruiting is going to be very, very important here. So we will mainly recruit in the Southeast, and in the off season here, I actually did learn a couple of things. This was very, very new to me. And just looking at who we're going to go after, it's going to be 1-stars here in season 1. Now, I'm debating if I want to stay going after 1-stars until I'm a 2-star school. But for now, it's just 1-stars. I might do it in season 2 where we go after 2-stars. But I think right now I'm going to go after 1-stars in the first 2 seasons just to make it fair. Now, who we're going to go after? We're going to go after as many guys as we can. So we're going to go after our 1-star athlete who's interested in our school. We're going to go after Joshua Ziegler. Let's just check him out. A 4.26 40 as a fullback. You've got to be kidding me. He is definitely going onto our board. Interesting enough, we do have to scout these guys, so there might be a huge difference of his real speed, but if his initial speed's at 4.26, I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that I want to go after him. Now, we definitely need offensive linemen, and in the preseason recruiting, you saw that some of our recruits were like top 10 in the nation. That's actually not the case because when the full pool of players opens up, then the real rank comes out. So you see the national ranking for this guy is 170 as a 1-star. Terry Diggs is pretty decent here. He's at number 72 as a center, but we can use all the help we can get. We already have a center that we recruited in Ronnie Young on our recruiting list, but we should go after everybody. Blake Carter is out of Titusville, Florida. Very good field awareness, good squat, decent strength, not great, but we're going to add him to our board. Like I said, we're going to try to get everybody. Now, the thing is, you have points to use, so you can't just add everybody you want. You have to recruit the player or scout the player or whatever you want to do, but you do have to use points. Now, we started with 21 hours here. So we can't go in too much, but we're going to go after some of these guys like Andrew Ellerbe, very, very good. We're actually first on his list, so I'm definitely going to go hard at him. A- field awareness. I love that right away. We go over to cornerbacks, and we have a couple of 1-stars here, so we're going to try to go after them. Roderick Brooks is a 4.41 player, but we're actually behind here. We're actually 5th on his list, so I don't know how I feel about going after him. But he is a 1-star. He is a JUCO sophomore, so I'm guessing he will come in rated a little higher. So we will add him to the board. But the guy I really like here at cornerback is Kevin Myrick. 4.39 40 without the scouting here. Pretty weak though, 240 bench press. But we're 3rd on his list, so we're actually closer than the other cornerback, the JUCO cornerback, and he runs a pretty good 40 at 4.39. Hopefully that does hold up, or maybe even when we scout it gets faster. So we will probably end up committing a lot of resources to Kevin Myrick. We'll have to see. This is 5 weeks of recruiting. I won't go over every single week, but I'll go over the crucial weeks. So then we have about 6 hours remaining. I do want to get one more defensive back. So we go over to strong safety, and we want to kind of choose one here because I still need to go after quarterback. Remember, we need quarterbacks. Nigel Ivey, he's pretty good, but let's look at the other two. Craig Hall, we're actually first on his list. A+ field awareness. The 40 time is good at 4.55. I don't mind that. And then there's Brent Murphy. We're 2nd on his list, but he actually runs a slower 40 than Craig Hall, and the field awareness at A+. So I'm going to go after Craig Hall. I'm taking a big risk by not going after multiple guys here because you never know, if you go after one and they're not interested, then you might lose out on the others. But we're going to take that risk on Craig Hall. Next, we just have enough points to go after quarterback, and I'm just looking at all prospects now, looking after 1-stars and looking at that interest level. There's not many guys here. So Ralph St. Louis out of Redstone Arsenal, Alabama is going to be our guy. A+ field awareness. 40 time is good at a 4.78. Arm strength at B+. Bench press and squat are decent, but he's not considering us in the top 5, to be honest, and his top school is Pensacola. So right now we're going to add him to the board. I don't know if it's truly worth going after him and using points, but we need that quarterback on our squad. So we will go after him and advance on to week number 2. Now, after week 1, no commits, but we end up finding out that Joe Foster ends up committing to FAU, the athlete. So he was actually pretty good. I mean, he was more or less an offensive lineman, but he commits to FAU. So FAU already gets one of our recruits. Now we move on to our other recruits here in week number 2 and just look at our pitches here that we pitch to them. Now, mostly what I do is I pitch location to the Florida guys first just to see if that will help. And Craig Hall likes it. I'm glad because we took a risk on Craig Hall. He likes the location. So we're going to push location a little bit harder on him. We give him 8 hours and we want to just push that location to hopefully kind of persuade him to commit. Now then we move over to Kevin Myrick. He is really good. I really like him. Good speed cornerback. And then there's Andrew Ellerbe, who we started out first on his list, and we decided to keep going after him. We commit some points to him. And after the next week, we get 0 recruits again. So now we move on and we look at Joshua Ziegler, the speedy fullback. But I just don't see myself really going after him and needing him because I really need to spend some resources. I have 21 hours on these other guys. So I go hard after Craig Hall once again. We are slowly creeping up to that full meter. Hopefully he commits soon. But Andrew Ellerbe, we're in a tight race with him. And then Kevin Myrick, we are in first place with him as well. So it looks like he doesn't like our pitches so far. No location, no playing time. So we decide to just pitch one last thing as we move on to week number 5 and our final signing day. And we end up losing out on Ralph St. Louis. He ends up not even playing football, I don't think. His top school is Pensacola, and I don't think he even committed there. So I guess he's just not going to play football. Foster ended up going to FAU like we highlighted earlier. Now then we see at number 5, Myrick does commit to us, but we lose out on Roderick Brooks, on Hudson as well. Roderick Brooks also commits to FAU. Hudson commits to FIU. Ziegler commits to another school. And Ellerbe commits to Middle Tennessee State. Remember, we started out first on his list, but Middle Tennessee State made a move. But the good thing is we did get Hall at safety. So we got Hall, we got Myrick, we also, I forgot the last guy we actually got. Actually, I believe that's it. We only got 6 total guys. That is crazy. So we went hard after Ellerby, and we really thought we were going to get him. We ended up not getting him. I thought that Hall would be the hardest there, but he ends up committing and honestly committing to our program, 95 ranked at his position. And I don't know. I mean, I feel like we had kind of a bad recruiting there in the offseason, but we'll see, because the game does add walk-ons, and honestly, at this point, the way our team is shaped, our walk-ons might be actually very good. That's when we move on to cut days. And this is where walk-ons could actually matter. I meant position changes. Now, the reason why I'm changing positions for Takahashi is because we discovered late in the year that maybe his primary position is tight end. Now, I do this for 2 reasons. Because A, yes, his primary position might be tight end, and B, because if we do go below the minimum requirements for a position, a walk-on will be added. So that pretty much guarantees us that we'll get another quarterback on the roster as a walk-on, and I want to do that so that, you know, we kind of have another guy on the team that can throw. We don't know how good he'll be. We don't know how bad he'll be. At least it's another quarterback that we can have on the roster since we missed out on recruiting. So let's get into the spring game highlights. Now, I want to go over this really quickly because this was a weird game. Here's Brent Thompson taking off for a touchdown right away. And the reason why this was weird is because our second team offense, because we didn't have too many quarterbacks, there was no quarterback running the gray team, as they call them. It's really the white team, but I guess the gray team. There was no quarterback. So you can see Warren at quarterback right here. This is our backup running back, Demetrius Warren, and he's playing quarterback. Whole lot of Wildcat here, as you see on defense, and it was just a weird game here. So pretty much I want to showcase the orange team, which is going to be our first team offense, and you got to see a little bit of our first team defense. This is without the incoming freshmen, so it's basically just the returners. So here's Bamaye at quarterback. What does he look like throwing the ball? Here's a throw across the middle, and that's Angelo West. Welcome back from injury. I'm happy to see that. Bamaye with a nice throw. Maybe he's improved a little bit with his arm accuracy. First down. So here we are playing against this would be probably like our second or third string defense. So at this point, it's pretty easy on offense. So I wouldn't put too much credit in these plays, but I just want to see how we do. So here is Bamaye under center now, inside field goal range, I would say, at the 21. Here's play action fake, throw across the middle. Takahashi in his new position full time. Gets inside the 10. We got a 1st and goal here on this opening drive. So here's Bamaye stepping up in the pocket. He's going to throw it to left side. He's got Caesar Jr. who breaks the tackle, and he's in for the touchdown. I think Caesar Jr. is going to have to play a big role in the receiving game because I'm going to have to play Perry Thompson at running back as well, because we only have 2 running backs on the roster right now, Demetrius Warren, and then Perry Thompson will play in the backfield. So here's a toss play to the right side. This is Caesar Jr. on the next drive. He makes one man miss, breaks the tackle on another, and he's gone. Touchdown. Now, I'm hoping in summer training he will improve his speed. That will actually make him pretty deadly, to be honest. I can't wait to see that. And then we have the summer drills. We can also throw some drills at these guys, and they can improve there. Nice throw by Bamaye starting out the next drive. Here's a toss play to the right side, cutting back to the left, and Caesar Jr. breaks free. He's going to score on this one. This is our second team defense, actually, now that I remember it here, and it's pretty sad, to be honest. We don't have the depth. Our first team defense is going to need to be good this year because our second team defense, I'm not seeing anybody on this roster as far as backups go that are really going to make an impact coming off the bench. So here's a play action fake this time. Bamaye stops and throws, and he's got Takahashi, and he picks up a 1st down. That was actually our kicker, Holt, playing defense. That just shows you how many guys we don't have on our roster. That's just because we don't really have too many guys as well. Here's a throw across the middle. This is Avery White who's got it with space, and he takes off. He's going to score on this one. Avery White for the touchdown. Now, I'm going to need Avery White to really step up. Because remember, in recruiting, we did not recruit a receiver. And that's actually going to be a problem this year if we do not train well with them. So I'm going to have to train well with all of our receivers. I'm going to go in on training our receivers in summer training. Also with, hopefully they improve in the training, the automatic training as well. Here's a throw to the left side, and that is intercepted by Christian Hodge. You will see him play a little bit this year. Last year he didn't really play. He played towards the end of the year. But that is going to be it for the spring game. I wanted to get into some quick highlights there because I didn't want to show the complete spring game because our roster is just incomplete at this moment. We have a ton of guys that left and not a lot of guys that came in. So that was actually just a weird game. You saw our kicker on defense, and we just didn't have that many guys. And that's what I'm going to prioritize in recruiting come next year, is just getting some depth on this roster overall. At least Vincent Showcross had a good game. Ferguson, who you see there, had 3 sacks. That's actually just a generated guy. They actually had to generate guys to play in this game. He's actually not on the roster itself. But I wanted to see what our guys had in this game. And honestly, I think the way they perform in that game actually helps them in training. So now we move on to training, and you can just see some guys going up. Winston goes up in his training. I'm hoping that Bamaye improves with his accuracy, and he does. He's up to 56 with his accuracy. That's pretty good. Hopefully he can improve. I don't know if he's going to be the starter going into next year. We'll have to see. It definitely depends on the summer training, and remember, we're getting a walk-on quarterback as well. And then looking at receiver, what I really wanted to improve in is catching, and actually they did improve quite a bit in catching. Some guys won't improve at all. You'll see some of the plus minus with overall is going to be 0, and that's because they have bad potential. And that comes from, just when you recruit guys, you want to make sure you recruit guys that have good potential and have good discipline. But, it's not always that important because you have the summer training as well that can help. So if you see a bad potential guy, it might be worth it to go after them, because even then you can still train with them in the drills. So then we go on to defense and look at who's improved the most. Vincent Showcross went up 3 overall, +2 in tackling. That's good. Tylan Falls goes up a little bit. And then, like I said, you're going to see a couple of guys that, didn't play last year as far as defensive backs go. And some of our freshmen that are coming in as well. We have a couple of walk-ons, which we will get to probably next episode. I probably will highlight those guys next episode. I haven't gotten done choosing everybody and filling out the rosters and everything. So we'll have to see how that goes. Now, coming from the spring game, we actually get to choose MVP. Now, this is MVP of that game. I'm going to be unbiased here. I'm not going to choose the guys who I want to be impact players. I'm going to choose the guys who played the best in that game. And Wilson Caesar Jr. for sure. And then Vincent Showcross on defense, obviously our 2 best guys. Now, going into the season, I will have captain numbers. Number 10 will be the captain on offense, and that's going to be assigned to Angelo West. And number 5 will be assigned on defense. That's going to go to Vincent Showcross. So Showcross has a new number this year, as that hops us straight into the summer training. Now, summer training is very, very useful in this game. I believe they started it in 08, or was it 09? I'm not sure if this was the first game. I believe this was the second game they had summer training. And basically, you get to train your guys up. And this is where you get the extra stat boost, the attribute boost. Not the stats, but the attribute boost. And we decided to go with a couple of our veterans here. I wanted to improve Caesar Winston's throw power and throw accuracy. So I decided to go here and just up his throw power. We need a guy who can really air it out deep. And maybe, just maybe, he might get his starting job back. It depends on if Bamaye improves as well. Now, remember, we do have a walk-on quarterback coming in as well, so we'll have to see how that goes, and we will highlight him next episode. And let's just look at the route running of Angelo West. Now, this is one thing I wanted to work on. I want to improve his catching. I want to improve his impact ability. So he actually gets 5 bonus points after that route running drill, and I debated putting it on agility just to make him more agile. But I need a guy that can actually catch the ball too, so I'm going to put him up to 80 catching. So that is going to be our highest on the team at 72 overall as well. Then we decide to train with our backup running back here. I think it's smart to train with him because Demetrius Warren is kind of an unknown at this moment. We actually did do the running back drill with Wilson Caesar Jr. as well. He went up with his skills. And then we decided to train our speed here, and this is the one drill you can improve speed. I believe there's only 2 drills you can improve speed with, and this is one of them. And I decided to do it with Avery White. And the main reason is because I need another impact player at receiver. So I decided to up his speed, 84 speed. That's actually really, really good. That's about what Wilson Caesar Jr. was. And then we decided to do the kickoff drill with Perry Thompson. I wanted to get his speed up as well, and he did well. All it took was really 1 kickoff return for him to get enough attribute points to get the maximum amount. So he has 5, and I forgot this drill does not give you speed, but it gives you agility. So I wanted to give him agility there, and I'm going to put that all the way up because I want a guy that can make an impact, make a move, and be gone. And I'm hoping that Perry Thompson will make that leap going into this season. Now, in scheduling, what I wanted to do was play a good balance of good teams and bad teams. So what I did was I scheduled Harvard to open it up. I did that so that I can get to know our new players, which we will go over next episode, and also, get to know our, I guess just our new guys are moving around, like Takahashi at tight end. That's going to be different. We end up playing Florida A&M for our non-conference game. And then to finish out the season here, we're going to play Metropolis. Now, I did not mention other teams I put in this dynasty, and they will be revealed as this dynasty goes on. But Metropolis is in this. We will play them in the first game right now. So just watch out for those guys. It's going to be a whole lot of fun this season because I think we're better now. So let's look at the incoming freshmen. These are guys that you guys submitted and now will be renamed on the squad as freshmen. Now, first is a walk-on quarterback, Jeffrey Johnson. Actually, really, really well-rounded. 76 throw power, 74 throw accuracy, and he is the fastest on the team. But Bamaya is the quarterback at this moment. Josh Richard, a good running back. He has good carrying, our highest on the team. He doesn't have the speed, though, but he will be a pretty good depth guy at running back. Now, Tev Williams joins the squad. This is the guy that will replace Patterson at tight end. He is pretty good. I've trained with him as well to get him better with his hands. He's now at 74 catching, so we will have to see how good he will be. Ben Craig at center. Now, I really love this guy because he's going to be the best all-around blocker on the team. And actually now we can run up the middle. Halfback slams, halfback dives, they will now start to work with a good center. Let's move over to defense now. Max Hornish, he is a pretty good defensive end. I don't know what type of impact he will have, but he is our best rated end right now and our best tackling defensive end as well. But the guy I'm most excited for is Dontravian Snell. He's going to be very, very good, very athletic linebacker. Finally, we get some speed on the defense. He and both Showcross are now pretty athletic there because Showcross, through training, actually went up to 80 speed. Then we put Colin Bryant out there. He is 68 speed, not as athletic, but stronger, 65 strength. And he's going to be pretty good. He's a good tackler. I think that's going to be his calling card that, once you get into his hands, you're not going to break that tackle very often. But we'll have to see how that goes. Now at middle linebacker, and I could shift around these linebackers to different positions, even end at times. Lucky Davis is going to be the first. He has 72 tackling, which is, not great for a middle linebacker, but not bad either. But I know he's durable with 90 injury. And then there's Cameron Obioha. I'm really excited for this kid as well, just to have depth because we just didn't have that in season 1. And I'm just excited to have some depth on the team. And he's going to play special teams and even get in some formations as well. Now at cornerback, we have Michael Hartley, the freshman. He is going to be good, our most athletic cornerback. Can't really catch that well, but 44 catching. Actually our best tackler at 59 at cornerback. But can he stay healthy? With that 70 injury, all of our cornerbacks have pretty bad injury rating. And then we move over to safety. Tate Harris is going to probably play in the nickel because he's a smaller guy, 5'9". He has good acceleration, so to keep up with those, quick slot receivers. And he actually can play some offense as well. If we wanted him to play offense, his break tackling is at 68. His carrying will have to get up if we want to put him over there. But still, better tackler than the other safety here, who is Eric Garcia, who I'm going to start at strong safety just because of his speed right now. We'll have to see how that goes. I could switch up Eric Garcia and Tate Harris, but his speed sets him apart. He actually can catch the ball, so in interception situations, he won't drop as many as Tate Harris will. But I really like this squad going into this season, especially our freshmen. They're going to have a big impact this year. So that's going to do it here for the offseason. I'm excited, man. I'm so excited for season 2. Our schedule looks promising. I think that now we can start to beat some teams and really just show teams what we have. I think year 1 was definitely hard, but I think year 2 will be great. So hit subscribe, hit that like button. I hope you enjoyed the offseason. Hope you're on the team. If you submitted your guy, you could still be on Pensacola as well. So stay tuned for that in the future. So stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.
Yeah. Started from the mud, now you see us going up. Numbers never lie, now you see us blowing up. People used to front, now you see them showing up. So what's up? I've been down and out below. Keep it a buck, I don't always been one up on all of these. They be trying to front for all of these.